Serious Seeds is your source for quality cannabis and sativa seeds. Serious Seeds are the creators of legendary strains like AK-47, Bubblegum, Chronic, Cali Mist, and White Russian. The AK-47 is probably the most awarded strain on the planet. The high THC content of AK-47 makes it the perfect medical strain for patients seeking quick pain relief. Cali Mist is an almost pure sativa. Female medical cannabis patients have reported that this strain helps relieve menstrual cramps. Serious Seeds just acquired another Dutch high-quality seed bank, Magus Genetics. From now on, Serious Seeds can offer you even more award-winning strains. The fine folks at Serious Seeds strive to breed the best cannabis genetics that they can find, so patients can rely on the effectiveness of their medicine. Go to SeriousSeeds.com to grow your medicine. That site again is SeriousSeeds.com.
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spend. Take another look now and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Whoa, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rest. Well, right now it's time for hemp.
Jeepers, do we have a good show today? And I can't wait to kick it off. But the first thing I want to do, as always, is give my love and thank you to my little sister, the wonderful woman who owns this broadcasting network. She is also the owner of the first medical marijuana dispensary in the nation. That is the Marin Alliance Medical Marijuana Dispensary. And she's also a fabulous performer. And if you get a chance to see her live, I would encourage you to do so. It'll be a good time for you and your friends. If you like this program, you might make it a point to visit her on Facebook, or if you happen to be around in the neighborhood there in Marin Alliance, pop in and say hello in person and thank her for allowing this program to air on her broadcasting network. And also thank her for making it possible for people who need medical cannabis to be able to get medical cannabis without being considered a criminal. We love you, little sister. Thank you for making this show possible. On the broadcast today, we are featuring Jack Hare again. This is part 2 of the Jack Hare interview. And anytime you hear Jack's name, don't forget, you should always... Yeah, baby. Take time for hemp. Fire up in the name of Jack Hare. We're going to miss Jack. Jack, I'll tell you, had an amazing funeral. The people who attended dropped beautiful bud on top of the casket, and there was some great eulogies done on behalf of Jack Hare. And I'm blessed, like I said, to have worked for him and have a handful of interviews in our archives. And you can go to timeforhemp.com and check out our archives, and when you do, you will find that there are interviews there of Jack Hare over the past several years that Time for Hemp was in broadcast and still is in broadcast, but Jack's no longer with us. There's a lot of people in our archives that are no longer with us, and I can certainly tell you the fact that they are in our archives is for me exciting, because that means we've been able to preserve their voice. They're part of the contribution to the movement. Like when you listen to Jack Hare, you find out exactly what his intentions were when he started his Help End Marijuana Prohibition organization, better known as Hemp. And Jack certainly was a good orator for the cannabis movement. He certainly knew how to present the facts about using this wonderful plant for all the wonderful products that it can make. And Jack had a way of making it sound very sensible and very straightforward in such a way that you would think, jeepers, We could do it overnight. It shouldn't take but a minute or two. So I would encourage you to go to jackhare.com. There you can get his book for free. And it's a very interesting book. His buddy Chris Conrad helped him write it. Chris is still with us, along with his lovely wife, Mickey Norris. We send love to you guys, and we certainly appreciate all the hard work that you've done. But we do want to get on with the Jack Hare interview part 2. Like I said, Jack had a way of just putting it out there and making it sound so simple, so easy to understand, that anybody could just figure out that if we use this plant for paper, fiber, fuel, and medications, we would be able to create jobs, have a safer and more cleaner environment to live in, and be able to produce better quality products that would last longer. It was just a matter of common sense, right? That's all it took. So we do want to keep these segments down to about 30 minutes so that you can put them into your smartphones and into your handheld devices and share them with friends on emails. They're all free to download. You're going to find them on our Roku TV network, and of course we're on the Tommy Chung network now. We love you, Tommy Chung. Thank you so much for having us on the network. Lynette Shaw made that possible because we are part of her network here, and we ask that you let Lynette know how much you appreciate us being on the network by finding her on Facebook or finding her on Twitter and saying thank you for the content that she makes possible. And she also did the theme song to Time for Hemp. That's her voice at the end of each segment. She's my little sister, and I'm blessed that we are fighting together in the same foxhole here on Time for Hemp. Anyway, we're going to take a commercial break. And then when we come back, we're going to show you part 2 of the Jack Hare interview. And we do ask that you take notes, share what you learn with your friends, let your politicians know about this information. That's what Jack always wanted. He always wanted his book to be sent to every politician in Congress and in the Senate every single year until it was legal. That way nobody can honestly look you in the face and say they didn't know the truth about hemp. But in all honesty, they learned the truth about hemp, courtesy of Jack Hare, his book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes, and of course this broadcasting network called Time for Hemp.
At Crop King Seeds, we sell the finest marijuana seeds in the world. Grown organically with original genetics, every seed is cultivated for large yields, high THC content, and measured for both CBD and CBN levels. Did we mention we sell more than 20 of the world's best marijuana strains in feminized, auto-flowering, medical, and regular varieties, including White Widow, Blueberry, Purple Kush, Haze Extreme, and so many more. Through our website and friendly call support team, our seeds are available for direct order with speedy worldwide shipping. Crop King Seeds are also sold in over 100 locations worldwide.
Excuse me, I'm looking to buy some Crop King seeds.
Look no further, my friend.
Wow, they're here and in so many strains.
Buy your seeds now, in-store or online at cropkingseeds.com, or call us toll-free at 1-844-CROP-KING. That's 1-844-276-7546.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
Have you ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found Magical Butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.
Growcentia has developed Mammoth P, an organically derived soil inoculant that maximizes phosphorus and micronutrient cycling to maximize bud growth, increase yield, and enhance plant health. Mammoth P's patent-pending technology is OMRI certified. The increased levels of phosphorus and other micronutrients result in increased stem strength and a 16% increase in harvest yield. Mammoth P is effective in soil, soilless, and hydroponic systems. This biostimulant microbial product really works synergistically with any nutrient and fertilizers in your management and feeding regime. Incorporate Mammoth P into your feeding protocols as a supplement to any fertilizer program. Mammoth P is being used by growers, commercial and hobbyists throughout the U.S. Go to mammothmicrobes.com to find a store near you or to order through one of the company's online partners. That's mammothmicrobes.com, scientifically proven to grow mammoth buds.
How would you like to have all the best cannabis info all in one place? Canafo.com is the Google, Facebook, and Craigslist of cannabis. It even has its own social media platform. Canafo.com puts the world of medicinal and recreational cannabis in one place for consumers, businesses, and growers. Canafo.com is a free service where you can find over 9,000 different strains of cannabis, shop cannabis classifieds, and much more. Canafo.com is the world's most comprehensive source for all things cannabis. Get in the know with Canafo.
This song is dedicated to Jack Hare, the author of The Emperor Wears No Clothes. I was never much of a reader, but the cover of this book drew me in. And once I read it, the book changed my life forever. It's dedicated to you, Jack. Jack wrote the original hemp Bible, which made him a DEA rival. A switch to hemp's our only way for survival. The time is now when Jack helped lead the arrival. So read the book, think of all the patients dead. The Emperor Wears No Clothes, a tribute to Captain Ed. I got my second book autographed after the first one was read. So many uses for hemp that it'll spin your head. And on the side to pipe the hemp are a few ex-feds. Hemp for the economy and cannabis for meds. Order up a box of books, serve them up to your friends, and feel the powerful message that Jack's book sends. Ben Frank smoked the dank, one of the greatest to thank. They fight bud, but they drank. Watch them good and don't blank. Still as corrupt as our days of Van Slinger and Hearst. Such a beautiful world, but it seems to be cursed. We got a government that's bombing chunks out of the earth. They want to de-root our trees that rose from the dirt. So if you can't read the book, at least buy a hemp shirt. Stop letting life live you. It's time to get alert. I said it's time to get alert.
Let's be wise and legalize. The truth is out, we realize. It's been years they fed us lies. It's time to stand, we all must rise. Let's be wise and legalize. The truth is out, we realize. It's been years they fed us lies. It's time to stand, we all must rise.
The table of contents up to 16 chapters. A book of facts that makes you mad. No room for laughter. The first woven fabric, you should know it was hemp. Corporate greed fought the hemp with the heart of a shrimp. Brutal autopsies, cannabis Nazis. They smoke suffocated the chimps with a hard on to stop us back in no facts, only leaving them limp. At least 60 tons of hemp built the USS Constitution. Textbooks edited led to lots of confusion. Everything was made of hemp, from the Bibles, maps, and flags. Our clothes are made of hemp, from the royalty to the peasant rags. How can we stop the biggest corporation around? Educating the masses, I know we could take them down. Pot and so many others will destroy our world. Stop giving them money, sending plans in a swirl. Most violence causing drug, man, what are you, crazy? The worst it does to me is give me munchies, that makes me lazy. Grows clean out the earth like the fruits and the daisies. It's my medicine, sacrament, plus it pays me. I let it hazy because earth raised me. Inside fed a fight, I'm fed up lately.
Let's be wise and legalize. The truth is out, we realize. It's been years they fed us lies. It's time to stand, we all must rise.
You can't shackle Mother Earth, that's a real bold move. Come on, people, don't fall behind. Improve. Prohibition never worked then, it still won't work now. They're milking us some money like a farmer milks a cow. It's affordable, available, herbal health care. Can classify it with heavy drugs, it don't compare. Ever seen a heroin shirt or a cocaine chair? It don't bother me, my long hair makes the people stare. I'm solid toe to Freud, but in my hemp underwear. Learn the facts, get the knowledge, it's time to be aware. With over 60 therapeutic compounds, I say that's way more than proper medicinal type grounds. The energy of life is inside the hemp seed. It tastes good, plus it's what your body needs. Everyone should have a farm, grow hemp by the bale to help out an irresponsible government that fail. Biomass is in a class of its own, a renewable fuel that can be regrown. So shout hemp for victory, make cotton and plastic history. Money hungry dicks scheming with the filthy tricks. It seems that they'll kill the world in the mix of politics. Cannabis twisted with racism, yes indeed. Still catching hell for years after the freed. Are you a fan of jazz music? Let me know, cause most of the first jazz songs were wrote about the drill. They say school's a drug-free zone, every kid's got Ritalin. Rather have a calm kid than a tweaker that's fiddling. Kids need exercise, not a pill for adrenaline.
Let's be wise and legalize. The truth is out, we realize. It's been years they fed us lies. It's time to stand, we all must rise.
The true definition of canvas is cannabis. Natural beauty, artistic, organic bliss. There's no way we can let these facts be forgotten. Can we repair a world that seems to be so rotten? I believe there's never and never, and no I can't to be said. So I'ma keep fighting for hemp until the day that I'm dead. And I say Jack's the man.
Jack's the man.
I say Jack's the man.
Jack's the man.
Yeah, Jack's the man. He came with the plan to give hemp back to the common man. It'll restore the land with knowledge in hand. It's time to fight for the hemp and take a stand. I say Jack's the man.
Jack's the man.
I say Jack's the man.
Jack's the man.
I say Jack's the man. Come on, Jack's the man. Come on, Jack's the man. Come on, Jack's the man. Yeah.
Let's be wise and legalize. The truth is out, we realize. It's been years they fed us lies. It's time to stand, we all must rise. Let's be wise and legalize. The truth is out, we realize. It's been years they fed us lies. It's time to stand, we all must rise.
The first and the second draft of the Declaration of Independence both wrote on hemp. Can I get some remembrance? See, hemp needs no chemicals or pesticides, but still they decided third draft should be on animal hide. We're letting way too much slide just because of some pride, but this pride don't seem right if it's falsified. See, I can't stand being treated like a child and lied to. They can't buy my decisions, can they buy you? Softer, warmer, more absorbent than cotton, 3 times the strength, and it seems so shocking. The hemp's not legal, the people aren't treated equal. The lies that they teach you, let's stand up people. Asthma, glaucoma, nausea relief, increased appetite, AIDS and cancer therapy, eases migraines and it keeps you from stressing, sleep relaxation, it removes depression, multiple sclerosis, seasickness too, beautiful Mary Jane, medicine for me and you, reduce tumors, check the facts, it's not a rumor, back pains and muscle spasms, plus it improves your humor, gonorrhea, herpes, headaches, epilepsy, cannabis less dangerous than a can of Pepsi, grandma's arthritis medicine to ease the bones, help cystic fibrosis and people with the Crohn's, can't forget rheumatism, deadly emphysema, got you coughing off the ganja, that's a healthy lung cleaner. Yeah, got you coughing off the ganja, don't worry, that's a healthy lung cleaner.
Welcome back to the big broadcast. We're going to be showing you the part 2 of the Jack Hare interview here in this segment. It's really worth watching. I know Jack's no longer with us, but his message is, and so is his words in the book that he wrote called The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Again, if you go to his website, you can just highlight the word Emperor, and all the chapters are right there for you to read and enjoy online for free, just like all the archives on the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network are for free. So all you have to do is just log on and say hello, and you can find all the information right there, no charge. That's what we want. We want to end cannabis prohibition, and I promised Jack Hare a long time ago that I would remain an activist until I was like 65 or dead, or cannabis was legal. And I'm not 65, I'm not dead, and cannabis is not legal all over the world. So I've got a promise to keep to Jack Hare, and I intend to do so. And I certainly hope that cannabis prohibition ends in every part of the world soon. We're going to need to. It's about the only way we can clean up this planet and create safe products and be able to create all the jobs that we need. So anyway, I'll let Jack tell you. He's the brilliant mind behind all this, and him and Chris Conrad and Captain Ed and Dennis Perone and Dr. Todd McCurry and a whole bunch of other people certainly can tell you a whole lot more than I can. I was just blessed to have met all these people and to work with them, and so I studied under them, and along the way I've been enlightened just like everybody else by what they've had to share, and it's an honor to carry their torch here at Time for Hemp.
But as you go across the country, what kind of response do you get? What kind of attitudes do you receive in Nebraska, Indiana, Mayberry area, you know?
Well, in a lot of cases, we're talking to the choir. In a lot of cases, the people that show up 300, 400, 500 at the college are the choir, but a lot of the students bring along other students, force other students, people that have either read our information, our book, or High Times, and say, you've got to listen to this guy, you've got to dispute it and refute it and get off your position. And even people that smoke pot oftentimes think they're doing something morally bad because they were taught it was morally bad. They don't want to drink alcohol, maybe. They don't want to smoke tobacco, but they want to smoke a little bit of pot once in a while. And the response I've gotten has been really great because the television channels come out, the newspapers come out, the state, the city newspapers, the college newspapers, and they have given us. They come out usually with an attitude to treat us tongue-in-cheek, and then we challenge them with a $10,000 challenge.
$10,000 what?
Prove our information wrong. We give them a $10,000 challenge. That hemp, we're betting that there's no other plant on earth that you could outlaw the fossil fuels for cars, you could outlaw the cutting down of trees for paper, that you could, and if you were looking for the natural cycle from a plant that grows on earth, that all the other plants that grow on the planet Earth don't even equal a fraction of hemp on an annual, renewable, sustainable, latitude-wise, climate-wise, soil-wide, planet-wide, drought-wide basis. And hemp is the #1 plant that grows on our planet.
And you got a 10 grand challenge stating that. Well, yeah, backing you up.
And it's nobody. Well, one guy, Dr. Walker at LSU, took it up. A doctor of horticulture took it up. Came back and said we may be as much as 5% wrong. He didn't say we were, but we refuted him and disputed him. And Dr. Walker is now one of my biggest supporters in the country. So, I mean, we don't have anybody. I mean, it's just information. If anybody's going to get mad at information, you should be mad at the government for not giving you this information.
Evidently.
I mean, obviously, this information is available through your encyclopedia and dictionary. I mean, why shouldn't we have known cannabis and canvas were the same thing? Could we have outlawed canvas? No. We outlawed marijuana, going back to an earlier question. We outlawed marijuana because they didn't know. So I decided to use the word hemp, the real, true English word. Just like it says in our law books here in California, you must use the dictionary English word. And the dictionary English word of this plant is hemp. It's Latinized and Greekicized botany, a botanical name, is called cannabis. And it's been called hundreds of other names, from boo to marijuana to Mary Jane, but bang and bong and daga in Africa, where it's the #1 religious ritualistic drug, as well as relaxant for most of Africa. So what I ever saw wrong with this plant was nothing. I couldn't find anything wrong. I couldn't find any dead bodies except at the hands of police. I couldn't find any lung cancers. It causes more precancerous lesions, but I couldn't find any of those. I went to Dr. Donald Tashkin, who did the study, which all the Partnership for Drug-Free America quotes supposedly on the lungs. I take part in the study. I get paid by the government to smoke pot for you.
No.
I have since 1981.
Hey, how do you sign up?
Well, you sign up, but you got to smoke really garbage pot. You smoke much better pot if you know a farmer in Humboldt County.
You do it on your own.
Somebody with a good halide life. And, and I never felt bad. You know, when a person sells a tobacco pipe, you're killing somebody 8 to 24 years sooner. But if you sell him a marijuana pipe that he's going to put pot in, he's going to live longer than somebody that does no drugs. And he's going to live 8 to 24 years longer than the person smoking the tobacco pipe. But for the marijuana pipe, he's going to go to jail for 3 years minimum under new guidelines of the Bush administration.
For a pipe?
For a pipe. If he sells it in a store, like what the old quote head shops, which never even had pipes, they used to have just things to turn your head around in the early 60s until some kids brought some pipes in, and they sold as well or better than the posters.
Well, praise God for freedoms in America.
Oh, yeah, the end of freedom. But, the fact is that nobody can beat a fact, and I don't care, you can go beat up on a third-rate, you can go beat up on a third-rate country. But when you start beating up on millions of its citizens, 20 or 30 millions of citizens, and telling us we're crazy, when we have the #1 plant on earth for paper, fiber, and fuel, that we don't need to take fuel out of Kuwait, we do not need to put carbon dioxide up in the atmosphere from fossil fuels that stay up forever, that we have an annual, renewable, sustainable plants on earth that can do it, and the one that does it best is outlawed, then it's a pretty insane society. And I know that my mama would have told me I was an insane lemming if I followed this politician 1 inch. You know, that's what I tell kids when I go to high schools. I teach in high schools. I just taught in Santa Monica high schools this day, and I got these kids, you know, they want to know that their politicians are lemmings. They want to know these facts.
Okay, now, you've talked about politicians, and you've talked about all the people and the doctors and so on and so on. How about a debate? I mean, how about one on who? Who have you debated?
Congressman John Conyers, Detroit, head of the House Judiciary Committee on Crime under Rangel. And he did not know any of this information. I debated him, and he lost the debate about 175-1 there at his own alma mater in Detroit, University of Detroit at Detroit U. And I think the only person left on his side of the auditorium was his aide.
Who else? Who else?
Well, he didn't know this information. It was like an unfair fight. Here, I've been practicing for this fight all my life. I just did a medical doctor in Gainesville who came to debate me, and he said, would you give your child marijuana as a medicine for asthma? I said, of course. I gave it to my children when they were 9, 11 for asthma. Before that, I used to take them to the, before Dr. Tashkin at UCLA had told me in 73 and 74 that this was the best medicine in the world for asthma, we were taking my son Mark to the hospital out in Simi Valley. We were putting him in an oxygen tank. We were shooting with him adrenaline. He was taking tons of theophylline. Theophylline is the only legal medicine you can get. It kills kids 6 to 12 years sooner. There's 65 deaths a year, 6,500, 43 deaths last year. 6,500 people were admitted to emergency rooms for the theophylline, the only legal asthma medicine. And what else did it do? Oh, about 1,000 brain deaths from kids who had temperature when they took theophylline. Now, marijuana has none of these effects. Marijuana works much safer, much faster. There's never been a known death from it. And so I beat him in debate in front of his own college there in Gainesville. And he came over and congratulated me when I gave him the paper on theophylline and asthma. So we don't lose any debates. I had a guy from the DEA said that, well, you can make fuel out of anything. We can make it out of eucalyptus leaves. I said, you can grow 100 million pounds of pot for every 1 pound of eucalyptus leaves. He said you can still make fuel out of it. The DEA isn't playing with a full deck.
No.
They're just a bunch of fascist people that want to enforce the laws, as far as I can see, so they can get more power.
Okay, now from what I understand, that it's true that you have financed the movement, financed the book, got the book out there, got all the word out there. You have been the one out there just kicking ass,
Yeah,
right?
nobody can beat a fact. I found that out when I was a little kid. My dad told me about all his relatives that were killed during World War II, and he said, don't you ever put up with anybody shoving you around. I had cops beat me up in L.A. so many times. I used to make the headlines in the paper here in the metro section all the time, out there petitioning for this thing. They used to do all sorts of weird things. And we decided to take all my wealth and all my ability to make money and finance this movement. And my book seems to be doing a quite a bit of the job.
Underground book
in the country.
Yeah, very congratulations on that, too.
Can I
mean
put in
that.
a plug for the book?
Yeah, please.
Okay, you can get the book. It's called The Emperor Wears No Clothes. It's the Hemp and the Marijuana Conspiracy. And you can get it from Hemp, H-E-M-P, 5632 Van Nuys Boulevard, Van Nuys, California, 91401. It's $12.95 plus $2 mailing and handling to Hemp, 5632 Van Nuys Boulevard, Van Nuys, California, 91402. $12.95 plus $2 mailing and handling. We'll get it right back to you. All the facts and documentations are in there so that nobody has to guess about this. You'll be in sure ground. You'll be clear when you communicate about hemp.
Okay. Is there any closing statement you'd like to make the moment you got just about 30 seconds or so?
Thousands of kids have come and told me their whole families have come back together over hemp, that they've read the book, brought it to their moms and dads, and they're together again, smoking with their parents. So I'll tell you, the time for reefer madness is over.
Yay!
And the time for reefer gladness should begin.
All right. All right. I'd like to thank Jack for being on our show. It has been educational and eye-opening and fun.
Thanks, guys.
And I hope that this show has an ability to bring the truth out to the nation. I have been told that we are now being shown in about 25 states, 47 cities, and our audiences are growing. If you have anything that you think would participate in what we're doing here, we are focusing soon on the victims of this war. Jack has friends who are suffering as victims, don't you, Jack?
Till the next century, they're in prison for doing something, smoking a flower from the ground.
And we want to find some way to get them free, and we want to put faces on these victims. Please contact us. If you're aware of people in your area who have knowledge that we need to bring to our show so that we can enlighten the people who are observing us, please do. I know Jack will have other people to direct to us in the future, and I hope to have him back on our show. Anytime you want to come back, Jack, please don't even hesitate to ask. Come on back.
All right.
And I ask that our audience out there tell their friends about the show and do everything you can to get the truth spread out that Jack has worked so hard for. He's moved 17 years and he's still going, and there's a reason for it. He believes in what he's doing, and it must be true. Hemp is the one plant that is going to save this planet. And I believe that with the help of people like Jack, Captain Ed, and all the other people who are working very hard, this will come true. I ask you to get out there, raise your voice, let them know that our brothers and sisters must be set free. And remember, the next time you see me on your television show, you'll know that we're going to get together and teach you everything we can about this plant. And it will be time for hemp. Thank you. I hate getting...
Say, did you ever meet that reefer man?
No, I never met the guy. Tell me about it.
Oh, no, you're not kidding me now, are you? You never met the reefer man? Oh, no, you never met the reefer man? And yet you say you swim to China and you wanted to sell me South Carolina? I believe you know the reefer man. Did you ever meet the funny reefer man? You never met the funny reefer man? And yet you say you walk the ocean anytime you take a notion? Yeah, I believe you've seen the reefer man.
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spend. Take another look and spend some time for him. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yes, it's time for him. Whoa, an acre of hemp makes 20 bales of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, time for help! Yeah.
Have you ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found Magical Butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical Butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical Butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.